This is the Insta360 GO Ultra. Let's check it out. I have the Insta360 GO Ultra camera here, and let's get started with the size. This camera is tiny, lightweight, only 53 grams out of its pod. This opens up more freedom to use the camera in more places with more comfort. The GoPro Hero series, like the 13 here, just keeps getting bigger and more bloated. Here is a old Hero 4 from maybe 8 years ago, and you can see side by side, these things have grown. As they continue this direction and get heavier, there are more and more things that you cannot do with the camera anymore. The big one being point of view or POV shots. What sets the GO Ultra apart is that it isn't just about the camera being small. They have a whole ecosystem of mounts to go hands-free for POV shots. You can mount a GoPro Hero 13 on your head just like the GO Ultra, but nobody's going to honestly say that the Hero 13 is comfortable on their head. We also have a chest pendant, hat clip, smaller mounts for in the car, and the Insta360 selfie stick that makes for a really small and light package. I think the key design choice on something meant to be for POV and hands-free use is the massive field of view. The GO Ultra manages a 156-degree wide field of view, so you do not need to focus as much on framing. Also, it's nice having some horizon level with the wide view. Even in this wide field of view, we have 10 degrees of tilt correction, which is plenty for walking around with the camera. The GO Ultra has a magnet on the back that works with the Insta360 mounts, but it also lets you be creative and snap it onto metal surfaces for unique shots.
Totally not an overused shot.
This little camera has a 1/1.28-inch image sensor and a 5mm AI chip in there, and that puts it as the largest sensor in the wide-angle camera category. In dark environments, I am able to get true-to-life exposure without an excessively blotchy, grainy look. Here's a couple samples at night. About to hit up the boardwalk where it's too crunchy to really record. I have to watch my step carefully. All right, back to the car. Here's the library bells again. Here's a nighttime event we went to. I did have the camera in a -1.3 EV, and that was just so that it wasn't trying to expose what little light there was in the sky this night. What we see here is very accurate to what it looked like in person. New on the GO Ultra is Active HDR. When this is turned on, the camera does a much better job in harsh lighting conditions, such as walking through a forest or when the sun is shining into the camera. I'm using this on all the shots as default in this video, except when I'm using pure video mode, which is on for the low light clips. Looks really good on the small screen here. We'll see how it does on a bigger desktop screen. Speaking of pure video mode, I'm in Maine, and at this time of the year, it seems like it's always dark out and the days are very short. So a lot of the clips I have are indoors in the evening with lights on, or outside in the dark. I was surprised at how well this little camera does in the dark environments. Here are some more pure video mode clips. Good thing we had some snow down. It looks probably a lot cooler with the snow. All right, I've got pure video mode on here. I'm in a dark bathroom. From the little screens, the GoPro looks like it's more accurate to how bright it is. And then the Go Ultra is very grainy on the little screen, but it also says that's not how the final picture will turn out. So let me plop these on a desktop side by side and we'll see how the graininess looks. Also new for this Insta360 GO series is 4K in 60 frames per second. This is what you will want to use for fast action scenes for smoother video. Cool.
Woo! That was a weird one.
Taking a look at some of the camera details here, we have this big, bright, crisp 2.5-inch touchscreen on the back that flips up so you can see the screen in various shooting positions. You can control the small removable camera wirelessly while holding the base unit as well. We also have some new remotes that Insta360 made compatible with this. I am most excited for the small ring remote. I use Action Camera's kayak fishing, and in my videos I'm usually fiddling with my GoPro wrist remote to start capture. With this ring remote, I can attach it to my fishing rod and activate a head strap or body-mounted Go Ultra without letting go. When I let the reel go to initiate my camera, I am at the highest risk of losing a fish since I cannot reel at the same time to keep the line tight. We have ice out here now, but this summer you'll see me giving this a go for sure. Also new for this model in the Go series is a removable micro SD card slot. I prefer this over built-in memory because it tends to be a fast process to copy using the Samsung card readers that'll go 160 to 180 megabytes a second. It also seems like finding data-capable USB-C cables is hit or miss on speed and reliability. So somehow this works. This is the Flow 2 Pro phone gimbal here with the MagSafe clip. I've got the camera clipped on one side and I did have to add a 1-ounce weight to the other side, but check this out. So not only can I use it as a basic stabilizer, I could do active track. And not only active track, I get a nice screen here to do a preview. I think somebody could very easily 3D print a better mount for it. That would be more secure, but that's pretty cool. As far as battery life goes, the camera alone outside the pod will go about 70 minutes. And when you put it inside the pod, it will be about 200 minutes. Also, nice job on Insta360 for the quick charge capability with 0 to 80% charge in 12 minutes. GoPro is so far behind on charge speed, it seems ridiculous now. I took this on an out-of-state trip and took about 1.25 hours of 4K, 30 frame per second high bitrate clips and didn't worry about the battery. All right, we're gonna capture some audio here from under the hood on an electric car. Where should I put the microphone? This is the Mic Air, by the way. It's magnetic, so should be able to place it anywhere. I don't know if I have clearance here. So let's do right here. That doesn't feel like it's going anywhere. Another big win for this camera is compatibility with their Mic Air, which has really good sound quality compared to pairing a standard Bluetooth mic. The Mic Air is a tiny little thing and it lets you wear it as a necklace or mount with a clip, and it comes with a nice wind muff that works well. This will allow remote audio and also work better in a noisy environment if you turn on noise cancellation. If you have dug into the GoPro ecosystem, you'll find that they still do not make a microphone for their cameras, and when you pair a Bluetooth compatible mic, the sound quality is awful. This is a big differentiator if you need a microphone. Another new feature here is an attachment point for a safety tether cord. Where some of these accessories are magnet-based, having that extra protection is handy. They have also integrated Apple's Find My technology, but being Android only in this house, I cannot test that. I'm going to dump some more clips over the past couple weeks at the end here with some different scenarios. But to close out, definitely check out the Insta360 GO Ultra, the tiny hands-free, perfect for POV shots, 4K pocket camera. You'll see footage from this cam popping up in my future videos as I demo products and need a compact camera that works hands-free with good video resolution and smooth stabilization. I'll have some links below, and there might even be some special deals from Insta360. Let me know below if you have any questions, and thank you for watching. Yeah, okay.
Oop. It's hard to do 2 on this bar. It's hard to do 2 on this bar.
Or is this the children?
To the lookout. Hey guys, look at me. Liam, say nothing at all.
Nothing at all.
Got you. I'm surprised it hasn't melted. It looks like it has a few of them.
Oh, never mind. It's a humming.